Welcome to the show. Jamie Conroy completed his stellar season by adding the South Island Formula Ford Championship title to the New Zealand title he won 2 weeks earlier. South Today Sport caught up with a 22-year-old to reflect on his championship success and look ahead to future challenges on the track. Well, Jamie, who'd have thought when we spoke to you at the beginning of the season, car was in 100 pieces.
Yep.
Looking at the prospects of a pretty busy racing season, it turned out perfect for you.
Yeah, that's right. It's been a huge effort from our whole team, and I'm really glad to get the results that we have. And sort of looking back now, it's been a bloody long road, but we made it. Yeah.
How important was it to get that good start and those early victories?
Oh, it was a huge importance. We put a lot of effort in before the season, working on the car, and we rebuilt it a couple of times before we even got to the first race meeting. It was all about reliability and making sure we finished every race. And that's something that's been quite important to us and something we're pretty proud of, especially with Wal being on board and another guy we dragged in from Dunedin that came to the rounds with us as well. We ended up finishing every single race, and that's so critical for the championship.
What do you think the key to that was? Did you continually tinker, or did you stay with a good base design?
Well, we definitely had a base setup. We were quite lucky because we got quite a bit of data from previous seasons that we related to. And saying that, we did do a lot of testing at the track down here before we went anywhere else, and just got a good understanding of how the whole thing works, so that any changes that happen we could adapt to pretty quickly.
Which of the circuits did you like? Which did you dislike? Provide the most challenge?
Oh, they all had their own sort of unique styles to them. Hampton Downs is quite an interesting one. Probably took me a couple of extra laps to get used to, just because a lot of the time you're in braking points where you can't actually see the corner until you arrive there. So just a matter of doing a couple of extra laps to get the hang of where everything's sitting and going from there.
What about the chasing pack? Were you ever worried that they might overtake you, provided you stayed on the track?
Oh, definitely. There's a couple of guys in the season especially that have been very strong racers all season. Michael Collins in particular, he's been right there every race. He's right behind me, putting the pressure on. So like I said before, it came down to reliability a lot of the time. We had to make sure that the car finished every race, otherwise he would have been in front before we knew it. And
you wrapped up the New Zealand title, didn't you, before the South Island title, so that was a good one to get in the bag early.
Yeah. Taupo's another track that was a lot different to the rest of them. It's very unique in that you have to attack corners, and that sort of, again, is another thing you have to pick up as soon as you get there, and I think we've done that quite well, and we sort of got on with it, and we actually clean sweep that weekend, and that was awesome. I think we even managed to finish it up not having to do the last race. That second last race, it was a pretty cool race. We just went out there and the whole team put everything into it, and I think looking back at it now, the lead we gained in that was more than we gained in any other race, so we really put our best foot forward for that race and came away with it. Yeah.
It's an amazing achievement, isn't it, for a novice to win first up? That doesn't happen very often in history.
No, that's right. There's only a handful of drivers who have actually done that, and I'm pretty much 100% sure that I'm the only person who's actually won both the South Island and national title in their rookie season. So it's very cool. Very cool for the team, and very cool for all the sponsors, yeah.
A few of those rookies have gone on to do some pretty good things too, haven't they?
Yeah, that's right. This is like Shane Van Gisbergen and whole lots and lots of guys out there that have come from Formula Ford especially and just making big inroads. What
improvements as a driver have you experienced through the series?
Picking up the tracks, the North Island tracks more than anything, has been a big challenge. It's something that I'm quite proud that we managed to get on top of pretty well. I think when we went to Manfield, which was the second last national round, I picked up the track quite fast. We managed to do one of the fastest times of the whole weekend by lap 9. So I'm really stuck with that for sure.
Is the car faster at the end of the series than it was at the beginning by some seconds?
Yeah. Like I said, we're continually making wee adjustments to it. We're lucky enough to have Greg Woodrow come over from Australia. He just sort of appeared out of nowhere and come and introduced himself to us, and he's the MyGirl agent from Australia. And he came over and seen us and introduced himself, and he offered a couple of things we could try, and we tried those and definitely got a benefit out of it.
Well, the word has spread very quickly. We understand McLaren have even picked up on it and offered some congratulations.
Yeah, that's right. They put on Twitter the other day that congratulations to Wal for his efforts, obviously being an ex-Formula 1 mechanic himself, and what he's done and helping me achieve this. So that's been very cool.
His experience with that age of car, I suppose, was critical, wasn't it? Just knowing the ins and outs from day one.
Yeah, that's right. That's the good thing about Formula Ford is they do come down to a grassroots understanding of car mechanics and how they work. And, well, it's about as good as you can get with that, for sure.
What opportunities has this opened up for you so far in those early days?
Well, with winning the National Championship, you get a free test drive in a TRS car, Toyota Racing Series car. So that's coming up in the next month or so I'm really looking forward to that. It's going to be interesting to see just how much faster they really are.
For the novice, how do they differ from what you've been driving?
They're a lot different. They've got a full slick tyre, which gives a lot more grip, and they have a full aero package as well. They got the front and rear wing and more horsepower, so they're sort of a big step up. So it's something I'm looking forward to, yeah.
Assuming that you don't get scooped up by someone, will it be back in the same car next year, albeit with a little bit of tinkering?
No, I mean, we won 16 out of 18 races in the National Series, and there's very few drivers who've ever done that. So for us, it's now time to move on and see if we can go to the next step.
Right. So what would that be in terms of types of car?
Next step in single-seaters, hopefully, which is Toyota Racing Series. There's a few talks of test drives in Australia coming up, so we'll see what doors open.
Well, people do notice that, don't they? It's a small world, the motor racing world. If you've got some talent, they're watching.
Yeah, and it's unbelievable the amount of people that I've met this season. But like to Chris Amon and Amanda McLaren, they're big names in New Zealand motorsport. Who just, like you say, they come out of the woodwork and all of a sudden you're meeting these people that otherwise you would have never had hopes of meeting. It's been awesome.
Key will be to keep as many of the team behind you that you've got, because obviously you've got a good unit.
Yeah, that's right. We had quite a big team this season. For the South Island Formula Ford Awards night, we got Best Presented Team, which is something I'm quite proud of personally. Everyone on my team has really put their best foot forward and really dedicated themselves to it. And just the whole vibe of the team has been awesome. Everyone gets along well, but after race meetings, at nights, especially at Taupo, we went back and had a barbecue. It was great. We sort of talked about how the season's gone and what we're doing the next day and what we're going to be doing in the future. It's been awesome to have those guys on board.
Anyone added up all the hours everyone's put in? There must be a tremendous amount.
Well into the hundreds for sure, yeah. Especially the likes of Wal, he's spent so much time in here working on this car, and a lot of guys in the background. My parents have put in hundreds of hours. Rick Mickles, who owns Evolution Motorsport, he's put in so much time, and it's really great to have that sort of commitment.
It all comes down to passion, doesn't it? You all share the same one at various different places around the car.
That's right. It's unbelievable how well these guys have got on and how supportive they are of me and where we're trying to head. It's been awesome.
How hard has it been to go back to work and be a normal person?
Yeah, no, straight back into it on Monday. Hey, we're still straight back to it, but it's good. It's good to get my feet planted back on the ground and get on with things. Yeah.
So the prize money didn't make you a multi-millionaire overnight. There's a way to go yet.
No, that's right. There's still a lot to go, and we'll be pushing for next season pretty soon, and so hopefully making some inroads.
There won't be much downtime, will there, between seasons? Because you have to start planning pretty much straight away.
That's right, and we've got a lot of kart racing on in between times as well.
You haven't given that up?
No. I mean, it's got me to where I am today. Without it, I wouldn't be here, and I'm not forgetting that in a hurry. And I don't want to step out of a kart for too long either. It's just so good for your racecraft.